Hi everybody, it's Mike the Heal Your Gut Guy, and in today's video I want to review a user's comment. He says, "Hi Mike, I'd like to offer some constructive feedback. Don't neglect the role of that diet plays in overall health. I am a believer in German New Medicine in that it is only one aspect of our health, not the end all be all. Diet, exercise, and sleep are crucial pillars." And I disagree with this on many levels. So, because I have worked with hundreds of people, and there's people I've worked with people who they had their exercise right, they had their sleep right, and they had their diet right, and they were not getting better. If any of the they would some of them would actually get worse. Some would get better. So there was something major not being accounted for. And so this was a student here who used my program. He said he weighed 160 pounds. This guy's like a bodybuilder. He's like a big dude. He had lost it. He was probably weighed like 200 pounds, and he went all the way down to 160. And he was having all sorts of digestive issues while following a bland diet. He could barely lift 225 pounds for a deadlift. That's really light. So now I eat whatever I want, and I deadlift 500 pounds. That's a lot of weight. So that's really impressive. The most I could ever do was like 315, 325. But I'm getting back up there. I'm getting back in the gym. So, what do you do when someone's on a perfect diet? They're following all these these protocols. They're trying to do everything healthy, but they still have symptoms. I tell guys, I have been doing this a lot longer than you have. I have a lot more money, time. This is what I do 24/7. I'm not like, most health professionals. They're like, oh, I'm so Dr. So-and-so. My identity is I am Mike the Heal Your Gut Guy. I am not so-and-so promote myself. I am Mike the Heal Your Gut Guy. I have dedicated my life to figuring this stuff out. And so I have just seen so many cases. I've gone to these health conferences where everyone is like, oh, I haven't had gluten in 10 years, and even when the bread is perfectly sourdough'd and it's from ancient grains or gluten free, they still can't eat it, and they still suffer from symptoms even though they might be a little bit better. So I want to answer this comment as kindly as possible. So thank you for giving me this feedback, but I do disagree with you, and I think it comes from a lack of understanding of what German New Medicine actually is, because I think a lot of people confuse German New Medicine for thinking happy thoughts and everything will be okay, dealing with stress and everything will be okay, and I can tell how the author of this comment, the way that they're just communicating things, that they don't have a firm grasp on German New Medicine. German New Medicine shows us how our body works. You can't use German New Medicine. You can make better decisions with German New Medicine principles, but there's I'm trying to craft these sentences so that the logic is correct, and I have a higher level of logic than the average person. I programmed computer games for fun. I'm just that kind of a guy. I'm really nerdy. And if you get like one line of logic wrong, and especially in the certain place, it completely breaks the game. Yet you can get the logic wrong somewhere down the line and just breaks like one feature. But even that, people can like take advantage of that feature and just like totally ruin the game for everybody. And then you can just break a feature like all the way down here, or break the logic all the way down here, and it just makes the game unplayable for everybody. It crashes the computer. It makes it unplayable. And in the holistic and modern medicine community, the logic is broken right here. It is wrong right here, and it makes all of our decisions just insanely ridiculous. So let's read this comment line by line and kind of put things where they should be. I think you might inadvertently be sending a message to people that we can eat whatever we want without deleterious effects. Um, I want people to not be afraid of food. I want people to be able to eat anything. And when I say anything, I don't mean eat rat poison, but people in the holistic community equate McDonald's to rat poison. You can eat anything a normal person can. And I might even extend that because, like, if you go look in the competitive eating community, there are people eating glass, there are people drinking gasoline, there's people eating metal, and they are fine. They have zero digestive issues. So, and when you look in Mother Nature, there's animals eating rocks and dirt, and they're absolutely fine. I don't think you should do that. It doesn't sound very tasty, but fundamentally, how we understand disease is completely wrong in holistic and in modern medicine. It's just completely wrong. So while your gut may not react to foods anymore, there are still real effects of proper eating of the human body as proven by thousands of studies. So again, like we even have like good studies like the raw milk cure books and stuff like that where, oh, I put somebody on a raw milk diet for 1 to 2 months and they got better. I've tried that and it does not work. It doesn't work. What do you do when these so-called lab studies like aren't they're being tested but they aren't working? What do you do? We got to find a system that actually works. I've seen way too many people go on perfect diets and they get worse or they don't go anywhere. I did not have food intolerances until I became a nutcase on the keto, the specific carbohydrate and gluten-free diets. I did not react to those foods until I started those diets, until I became a psycho, until I started developing food phobias. And my whether I could tolerate a food or not was just depending on my belief system at the time. And some of us might react to a food consciously, like we consciously believe that this food is bad for me, and then on another level it might be subconscious and you might not realize it. I had one friend who was allergic to pizza. He wasn't allergic to cheese, he wasn't allergic to bread, he wasn't allergic to tomato sauce. He was allergic to pizza because he got into a really bad fight over pizza with a friend, and he didn't know this. It was like a subconscious thing. But he eventually figured it out, and he was able to eat as much pizza as he wanted once he got rid of that. So we need to admit that there are many diseases caused by a structural issue, such as spinal misalignment, diet, circadian rhythms, lack of exercise, and so forth. So this is just holistic nonsense right here. Yeah, it's probably good to get sleep. Yes, it's good to have a good diet. Yes, it's good to exercise, but what do you do when you do all those things and you still don't get better? This is where German New Medicine comes in and dispels all of this nonsense. So when somebody would display a set of symptoms, Dr. Hammer would look at their brain scans and he would see a ring in a very specific location. If someone had severe back pain for no reason, he would go, okay, and then he would look and there'd be a ring in the same location every single percent of the time. It was caused by a self-evaluation conflict. If someone had intestinal issues, there would be a ring in a very specific location 100% of the time. If someone had a perianal fistula, there would be a ring in a specific location 100% of the time. If someone had heartburn, there'd be a ring in the right temporal lobe in the back in a very specific location 100% of the time. If someone had bronchitis, there would be a ring in a location in the same spot 100% of the time. If someone had lung cancer, there'd be a ring in a very specific location 100% of the time, and so forth. Every single condition, there was a ring in a very specific location 100% of the time. And when Dr. Hammer interviewed these people, he linked it back to these symptoms started during a conflict shock. And their symptoms showed, depending on the program, their symptoms either showed up in the conflict active phase or in the healing phase. Certain people might not respond to German New Medicine. This is, again, I'm sorry, I'm getting worked up here. I'm trying to get better about this. And thank you for this comment. Certain people may not respond to German New Medicine. This is a statement from somebody who does not understand what German New Medicine is. We are all operating under the 5 laws of German New Medicine. It's just how our body works. The 5 laws of German New Medicine. I can't give somebody German New Medicine. It's not a pill you can take. And German New Medicine really doesn't offer much as far as helping people with their emotional issues and helping people with conflicts in their lives. It helps us make better decisions. Instead of making statements like gut issues are caused by indigestible morsels, we need to clarify and say some gut issues and not all gut issues. So I would say some if that were true, but it's not true. All intestinal issues are caused by, intestinal issues are caused by indigestible morsels. All. I stand by that statement. This could be very problematic when it comes to life or death issues such as cancer. Guess what? Crohn's disease and colitis is the healing phase of cancer. Cancer is conflict active for an indigestible morsel. Not to freak you guys out, but all of us have cancer. We all have cancer. We all have programs running, on low gear, medium gear, and high gear. And when these programs get into high gear, that's when the symptoms become noticeable and, we need to do something about it. But for the majority of us, we have lots of programs probably running on like a very low gear, and some cancers are healing. Like if you have hemorrhoids, that's a healing phase cancer. But people with Crohn's and colitis, they're in the healing phase of intestinal cancer. These extra tumors, these extra gut cells in the gut, serve the purpose of helping us digest and absorb hard to digest food. See, not having this messed up holistic belief system, this modern medicine belief system, can actually do more harm than good. Because all of a sudden we get this cancer diagnosis, and then we think we're going to die, and then that turns our lungs on a special program, and the person gets lung cancer or something like that. It depends on how the person experiences the, hey, you got lung cancer, you got butthole cancer, you're gonna die. We could cut your butthole. This is very traumatic information, very stressful information to receive if you don't understand how your body works, which is like 99% of the population. Some disease is caused by emotional conflicts. So again, we don't, in German New Medicine, we don't use the term disease. There's a very big difference between, a lot of people argue scurvy is a nutritional deficiency disease. It's really not a disease. You just give somebody some vitamin C and it's gone. It's not like that with, Crohn's disease. You can't just give them a certain nutrients and it goes away. Someone has scurvy, you give them vitamin C, it's gone in a few days. It's gone. It's that easy. There's a big difference between nutritional deficiencies and having an organ that's on a special program. There's nothing in your body that's malfunctioning. There's a big difference between getting punched and then the organ being damaged and it can't function correctly. There's a big difference between injecting something lethal into an organ and killing it versus it being stuck in a special program. And when it's in overdrive for too long, this can cause injury to the body, but there's not this thing of this made up concept of disease where it's just malfunctioning for no reason because God hates you, because your genes suck, because you're not eating enough healthy foods. It doesn't work that way. I've had too many people follow a perfect diet and get absolutely nowhere. And I've had a lot of success with people where they address these emotional issues. They stop freaking out about their symptoms. They stop being, psychos about what they put in their body. I agree. It's good to put good, healthy foods in your body, but it's literally impossible to do that 100% of the time in this day and age. It's not possible. And it's just idiotic and hypocritical, to be honest, to put this much obsession. It's just not smart to put this much obsession into the foods that we eat when our friends and family are eating whatever they want and they have zero symptoms. You know, this I'm going to go back to this one line because this really gets me. It's been proven by thousands of studies. The studies are designed horribly today. They're lying with statistics. Look, if you don't give a rat vitamin C, or maybe not a rat because I think they manufacture their own vitamin C, but if you don't give a human vitamin C for X amount of months, 100% of the time they develop scurvy symptoms. 100% of the times. Okay, I that's science. Okay, we figured that out. But when they start investigating things like Crohn's, colitis, and other conditions, the science gets ridiculous. Oh, everybody who there's a 10% higher chance to get Crohn's disease if someone has gluten. It's like everyone has gluten. Like this, it literally makes no sense when you take a step back and you get out of the weeds, you get out of the holistic nonsense and stuff like that. You want to know what causes gut issues 100% of the time, because they are drawing conclusions off of things that are true. If you're lucky, maybe 50% of the time. But more often than not, it's usually true maybe 5% of the time, if not 0% of the time. A fact is something that's true 100% of the time. And those of you who are fighting me about that, like, get your head out of your butt. This isn't liberal arts. This is a science that we are trying to work with here. And you just can't draw conclusions off of lab studies that aren't designed correctly. I feel like you need to be careful not to tout German New Medicine as the final end-all solution to all health issues, which in my opinion, it isn't. So I thank you for sharing your opinion, but I think you should take a real dive into German New Medicine and really understand what it is, because this post, I can just clearly tell that you're still following that holistic mindset. Yes, it's good to exercise, but this is the beauty of German New Medicine. If someone's going through leukemia, they're going to be really tired. You don't want them to exercise. If someone's in the healing phase, like a deep healing phase for any program, they're going to be really tired. You don't want them to exercise. Like, German New Medicine gives us the knowledge to make use of these different remedies that are in modern medicine and holistic medicine. Modern medicine and holistic medicine have a lot of good tools, but their core logic is broken and dangerous in a lot of respects. But German New Medicine gives us that knowledge where we can use it more intelligently. A healthy diet is great, but if you're going to be a psycho and view other foods as rat poison, you're never going to get better. You're never going to get better, because you're always going to be viewing something as indigestible depending on what YouTube video you watch that day. Exercise is great, but you're never going to get better if you're trying to exercise your way through a self-devaluation conflict and you're suffering from anemia and stuff like that. Because every time you go to the gym, you're going to self-devalue yourself, and it's just going to be this vicious loop. It's really hard to get to sleep when you're conflict active and it's triggering you to stay awake. I understand German New Medicine is a different way of thinking about things, but you'll see the truth in it when you throw off your holistic nonsense glasses and you throw away your modern. there's great principles inside of those things, but their core logic is broken. And yeah, so guys, I hope this video helped, and thank you for leaving that comment. I know I kind of got on my soapbox, and it kind of sounds like I'm yelling at you. I'm honestly trying to give you helpful, constructive feedback. So thank you. Yeah, guys. Good luck. If you want my help healing your digestive issues or any, I can help with most issues. If you have a question, just leave us a message on the website. But I do have the Rapid Gut Healing Program. It's $497 or 6 easy payments of $97, and that price is probably going to go up soon because, with all the inflation and stuff, it's really hard to keep it at that low of a price. But it's really an insane deal because, if you go anywhere else, you're going to pay $200 for a consultation, and then they're going to prescribe a lot of foods that aren't very tasty, that are very expensive, and you're not going to see the results that you want. You're not going to be able to live life like a normal person. You're not going to be able to build that healthy body back if you don't have that core logic where it needs to be. And, a lot of people get better watching my free videos. A lot of people get better watching my free 30-day plan. But you really, even myself, me being Mike the Heal Your Gut guy, and as crazy and as passionate as I am about health, I needed hours of consultating with people in order to really figure this stuff out. And that was without having, I'm creating a lot of content that's helping you guys, shift your mindset. I didn't have that. So we have 3 to 4 live Q&As every single week where you can come in on a Zoom call and ask me and my other coaches who all use German New Medicine to heal their health issues. We'll answer all your questions 4 times a week for forever. That's an insane deal. It's not going to get any better anywhere else. So guys, let me know in the comment section down below what you think. Am I completely crazy? And I'd love to hear your guys' success stories. I know there's a lot of you guys out there. Maybe you've tried German New Medicine and you tried to apply these principles to your life but it didn't work. Maybe I can give you some constructive feedback. I want to talk to you guys. I really enjoy. This is my obsession. This is what I do. But if you want to learn about the free plan, it's down below in the description. And if you want to enroll in the Rapid Gut Healing Program, then go down in the description. It's down there. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.